chance, a slight chance, that the characters are underage. And that, in Japan, honestly, age of consent laws here are kind of misconstrued. Everyone thinks, oh, 18 is legal. Sometimes 16 is legal. It depends on what state you're in.
Georgia.
But that, in Japan, age of consent is, I believe, 13, I think, and marriage is like 16. Their attitudes are obviously different. They're a little bit more liberal about that. The 18 is suddenly the magical number. Oh, you're mature, out the door. So yeah, but like I said, I didn't want to talk about hentai because obviously, but there is one censorship thing that's insane, and that is anytime it's based in a school, it's almost always a college. But they all wear, all the girls, all the students wear high school uniforms. Like Byoga Fuku. They all wear the sailor fukus. And anyone I know will put their hands over the face and like, they don't wear uniforms in college. You're worried that there's going to be, you're worried that there's going to be one character that might just maybe be 17 or, oh my God, 16. Maybe even 15, oh God. But not that, you're watching hentai for art purposes half the time, but I would dare to say 99% of the time, but it's one of those things that just drives me around the bed. And since we're on that topic, La Blue Girl, the classic,
that. Everyone loves that.
That was the only truly uncensored version of that is in the original VHS release, because one of the characters is Nin Nin, this little ninja. He's not a child. He's just this little ninja. There were a couple of scenes involving him, and those were cut because oh no, it's child pornography. It's like no, he's a ninja. But nudity and the weird thing about the sexuality is, and I'm not going to go on preaching, that oh it's natural. It is, but. I mean, every time you change your clothes, naked, that's evil. But what is weird is there was a manga, I want to say it was Battle Vixens, but I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me, wherein the character, I'm not sure the context, I read this secondhand, the character, her breasts are revealed, and after she's attacked, and there's blood. So what they did was they actually censored it by having more blood, covering up the naughty bits. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but I think a nipple is more like natural than your blood being outside your body. That's just my perception on the whole thing.
You think we should take you to the hospital? No, I'm fine.
It's not like we're Hyatt here. It's natural. Now, yeah, but like, I guess another thing is homosexuality and incest. Incest is actually something that's, if it's even close to being downplayed, actually I have a note there on that. No, I don't. We'll just cover homosexuality since I'm ill-prepared. I'm hocking most of this from Wikipedia, by the way, just so I have a frame of reference. I reveal my secrets. Homosexuality, obviously, we have yoi. Enough said. But in Japan, homosexuality is like something to be, tolerated.
And the girls get it.
Yeah.
Well, from my understanding, the Japanese aren't hung up on sexuality. They look at it as a biological function.
Yeah, Japan, and this should be a good conclusion or a good starter. Japan is an interesting culture because they're very polite, very formal, very image-oriented, as anyone who watches anime probably knows. Politeness and and being part of the group and just being part of society is very important to the Japanese, as are taboos. However, once you close the doors, anything goes. They're far more liberal about things, as Byoga Fuku shows me his under his skirt. Oh yeah. That would be tolerated in Japan. Like, what was the example I'm not going to go with that one, but basically anything goes. Actually, what am I saying? that's contradictory to the spirit of this panel. The example I heard was distinguished Japanese gentlemen will join Yuri taster clubs. So that just tells you the kind of things that go on behind. It goes on here, but it's like no one cares as long as it's not found out. Here, you know, it's not. There's not such a moral taboo. It's like, okay, don't ask, don't tell. That's the policy there, and they pretty much go by it. But if you find out, then it's trouble. So obviously, yaoi is a big thing in Japan. Not so much yuri here. Go figure. What's that say about, you know, our culture? Because I guess yuri, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure all of you know, yaoi is guy and guy, yuri girl and girl. Yuri has a smaller following. You'd think that would be not the case because anime is, you know, yuri would be considered more like a guy thing, as though two girls going at it. Oh boy. Though I am aware that a lot of anime fans are girls, so that it explains that. But yaoi is something that's like definitely tolerated within, you know. It's interesting that yaoi is completely tolerated in in anime in America, in the anime culture. Yuri, of course, is, but it's not as prolific, which is unusual. You know, but if it's the rare censored, or I'm actually just reading off this because I remember this. Obviously, the biggest example of mainstream censorship of a lesbian couple is Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus.
However anyone wants to say it, yeah.
Whatever. Just come on, people. Let's be mature about this. I'm gonna verify this because you always hear rumors. Yeah, they were cousins in the American version, but no, they were romantically involved. What was really interesting was like even Cardcaptor Sakura, Sakura and her friends, they kind of, no, what am I saying? She was just, it was her rival Lee, and he had this. It wasn't really so much. It was more of a guy crush on the guy that Sakura had a crush on. He'd blush every time Lee saw this guy, and yeah, that was misconstrued as a homosexual. It was more of a boy crush in my opinion. But anyhow, I'm gonna get through it. Aaron, you really want to get Fan going, don't you? Yeah, okay. And Chris is so interesting. He talks about sex. But I'm gonna get this going here.